Hello and warmly welcome to another Soul Sunday. As always, an important reminder, whatever we say, check with your inner knowing what feels true for you. Today, we're exploring something that touches every single one of us. Whether you're in a relationship, single, married, divorced, estranged, or deeply connected, this episode is for you. Because relationships are the ultimate mirror and the ultimate growth potential. And I have a little question for you that you can sit with and come back to later. If you want, you can think about someone in your life who triggers you. Is there something with this or several people that bothers you? Hold the question because by the end of today, you might see it in a different light. Last week on Mother's Day, we explored the mother as a portal of rebirth, love, and transformation. I shared my spontaneous astral travel to the center of the earth, meeting Gaia herself, and how it transformed my connection to basically everything, and in particular with my soul star Arcturus. Yvonne shared her deeply personal words on the motherly energy, including her nearly 90-year-old grandmother who still bikes 2 kilometers to swim every single day. And the message from the Swedish Hill was thank your own mother through whom you came, regardless of what relationship you have had, because it was through her and through many others that you came through a portal of rebirth, mother after mother, life after life. So if you've had a difficulty with your mother, you can rewrite your story so that she too can be released and bloom. You can watch the full episode on my YouTube channel. There's a link for that. So, a transition for today. If the mother is your first portal, our first relationship, then every relationship that follow is in some way a continuation or influenced by that original mirror. I guess you know this. Maybe you can feel it in your body. And this influence how we learn what love feels like, or rejection, what safety feels like, or unsafety, and what rupture and repair feels like. And those early templates follow us everywhere into friendship, into partnerships, into how we show up at work, in our family, in community, and so on. And today we're going deeper into that mirror because that's what it is. Relationships as ultimate mirrors and growth potential. So, if I may share something personally, I always was a loner. I wouldn't have minded being alone in a cave or in a hut by the sea, always walking in the mountains by myself, taking long trips on my motorcycle, being the somewhat mystical, silent guy and slightly passive aggressive, who always disappeared when someone tried to get too close. I didn't really enjoy being around other people. And yet, of course, I craved connection. I actually longed for it deeply and missed real, genuine connection in my life. And of course, I did have a few close friends, but they weren't always available as they had their own lives. And I both enjoyed and endured my alone time in equal measure. So it was a mix of attachment patterns and a genuine soul craving for solitude, which I often confused with loneliness or used as a way of avoiding what was going on deeper inside of me. So being alone together with myself, my soul, and the universe is one thing. Being lonely, aloof, and not really participating, that's another. And I still have some of those traits, if I'm honest, and it's okay. But now I can discern much better between the two. I can consciously choose when I want to distance myself from others, sit alone somewhere in nature, integrate or processing something. And then I can consciously choose to return to my wife, family, and friends when I feel ready. It's just that sometimes I have to return and I don't feel ready. And then I just have to deal with whatever comes up. And honestly, sometimes those moments are gold. When it feels like something is cracking and falling apart. But if I meet it with pure honesty and the intention to move through the pain that surfaced because of something that triggered me in someone else, things change for real. It's like a burden is lifted off from my chest, and I can breathe again, and I can see myself more clearly, and I can see the other person in a completely new light. And many times, what used to trigger me simply doesn't bother me anymore. So, a little addition, you can absolutely be single and deeply happy and content for part of your life or all of it, if that is what filling your soul's purpose. It's completely valid and even beautiful. But there is one thing we cannot escape, any of us. In this dimension on Earth, we are always dependent on each other, whether we want to or not. We always interact in the collective field. Every encounter we have, however brief, leaves as a trace. And every person you meet, your nervous system respond to the other person's nervous system. And your brain literally has mirror neurons designed to feel what others feel. We are wired for connection at the deepest neurological and physical level. So even the most committed monk or hermit that I try to be is shaped by the relationships we've had, avoided, lost, or longed for. And there is no such thing as a truly isolated human being, what I know of. The question is never whether relationships are affecting us. The question is how consciously are we choosing to engage with that mirror? So, with that said, many years ago, I'm start blushing. When a relationship ended in a very painful way, that was not fun. It took some time to repair for both of us. I told myself that I wanted to stay single for the rest of my life, period. I could have a lover or two that's comfortable, I could probably handle it, and something I could manage on my own terms when it suited me. However, not long after I pronounced those words, that I want to stay alone, single for the rest of my life, came Yvonne. So over to you, darling.
Thank you, my love. And wonderful to see all of you again. And actually, this month is a very special month for me, for us, my dear Elof and me. And in June, now 9 years ago, I called to my soulmate, and Elof knocked on my door just 5 days after that. And with the theme today, where we talk about relationships as a mirror, I I think I want to tell you about a fantastic and magical story when my beloved Elof and I got to experience something that perhaps only happens once in a lifetime, I would say, because we often look back on that day, and both he and I need to pinch ourselves to believe it could really be true. And yes, actually, it is. Uh, the wonderful things that happen when vibrations merge, actually, and everything is possible, even miracles, when we are 100% aligned with the soul. And we had only been together as a couple for 1 month, though. Elof loved hiking in the mountains, and he had planned a trip in August. And quite spontaneously, he asked if I wanted to come along. And I had no idea what awaited me, as I had not been near mountains since childhood due to my fear of heights. But I gave it a shot anyway. So when we then began climbing the first elevation to make our way to Helax Mountain here in Sweden, and everything felt more and more charged in the air around us. There was something calling and pulling at my body, even though we had a backpack with many kilos that was playing games with the law of gravity. But up on the mountain, I was completely captivated. What air and energy up there! It felt as though the earth and the sky were kissing in eternity. And the first night we had there was strong and powerful, and a dream of thousands of reindeer dancing around our tent began calling to me. When we then walked further into the magnificent mountain landscape toward Helax Peak, it was hard for me to stop. After a day that slowly drew toward its end and a 14-kilometer hike without particular experience of such long walks, we tried, tired and really, really exhausted, find a camping site. It grew dark, and we simply took the best spot we could find near the trail there. That night was anything but pleasant. Nightmares woke us, and it was unpleasant winds and energies around the tent, so we got little sleep. The next day, we just looked at each other, and what are we doing was the only thoughts we had. Racing through the mountains at high speed was not really what we wanted. So we turned around because it felt right and looked for a cozy spot where we could simply be together, where we could meet each other for real without jumping with high speed after something somewhere in the distance. No, sometimes you just have to turn around and look at what stands directly in front of you. And of course, we were also quite newly in love. And in that moment, as we walked in another direction, just a few meters, happy with each other, without stress and pressure, and with love in our hearts. Elof, he looked toward a hill on the right side. He pointed there and said, I think we should walk up to that elevation. So suddenly, a large reindeer came running from the very hill Elof was pointing at. And behind the reindeer, in the same rhythm, came an entire herd, calmly, trotting, following after. And the leading reindeer looked at us, turned its body toward us, and continued in the same movement while all the other reindeer followed. Both Elof and I, we stood frozen to the spot, completely paralyzed by what was about to happen us. All the reindeer drew closer and closer until they reached us with only 2 meters of distance and began to encircle us. And they really stand there just in a circle around us. And everything happened so fast, and yet it felt like an eternity. And the magic in the circle began to swirl around us. And Elof, he just turned toward me, completely out of nowhere. Everything was so clear. This moment when Elof asked me if I wanted to marry him. And my yes was not a question, only a self-evident certainty of something already decided. So we kissed each other. And after that, the reindeer slowly gathered to continue on the way toward the horizon. It truly was nothing that either of us had had in mind. It was something that came from another place of our being. A wedding in the mountains just for us and the reindeers, of course. This was our spiritual wedding day, and the official wedding took place 2 years later. But yet, this magical moment in the mountains was the beginning of our journey in this lifetime here on Earth. And this deeper connection, this deeper decision we both made on a soul level follows us through every sunshine and every storm. We made a commitment, and you can do this commitment with whoever you want, a friend, somewhere from the family, or someone else. And you do this not only to meet each other, but also to meet ourselves for real, to mirror the deeper parts we often were afraid to look at. There always is a deeper meaning in a relationship we have. And in the moment, we turn around and see through all illusions, all masks, all fear, all stories, all projections. We recognize ourselves in the eyes of the one in front of us. And yes, it needs courage and vulnerability to truly see and to truly be seen, because the most profound relationship we will ever have is the one with ourselves. And that is where it all begins. So thank you for being here and for listening.
Thank you, dear Yvonne. That was beautiful. How about that? Blessed by reindeers in the mountains is one of the most magical things that ever happened to me. Period. With another period, besides witnessing the birth of a child. I get goosebumps from that too. So I had a conversation with a Swedish Hill this morning, and if you're new here, it's a collective of nonverbal autistic friends, and we simply communicate in another dimension. And there's a whole podcast about the phenomenon, telepathy tapes. Anyway, I want to read for you what came out of this conversation. Without relationships in your life, there is no real growth. You can sit in a cave for years, but to really get clear on yourself, you need other people to mirror you. You can do this at a pace and in a way that is right for you, but we're sorry, you won't really get away with avoiding seeing yourself in others. This can be both annoying and a blessing, and it is the ultimate growth potential. But it does require something of you, willingness to see through your own stuff. If you've decided to get married, it is even more of a commitment. By grinding on each other in that way, unless you consistently keep avoiding each other when things get uncomfortable. But then it's not much of a relationship anymore. So you're asked by existence to face every unresolved issue, sooner or later, in this lifetime or another. And honestly, that doesn't matter really. And of course, it is the same with any relationship that you encounter. You do meet and rub your shoulders and your triggers. You always get a new chance in a new way at some point on your soul's path. Time is irrelevant. The question is how long you can tolerate not being 100% true with yourself and how good you want to feel about yourself. We enjoy ourselves more when we're feeling good. And when we feel good, we can do more good. People are always mirroring you, and you are always mirroring each other. Others are showing you where your weak spots are, where your strengths are, how you respond, act, and express yourself. And you are doing the same for them. When your nervous system is regulated well enough, it is always better to respond than to react. Take some 90 seconds of silence if someone is triggering you, and then respond. If you feel stressed and react instinctively, it's usually your defense and survival patterns kicking in, which is actually great if you notice. Then you know what to work on. You can always learn and forgive when things go wrong. In the whole cosmic scheme of things, what it comes down to is your willingness to face yourself. And that's it. And when you've got that, you can co-create something better together in a completely new way, egos and pride set aside. Share the joy and the fruits you harvest. We love and honor you for being here, your friends in eternity. I had to take a breath. Anything landed for you? How long can we tolerate not being 100% true with ourselves? Ouch. And honestly, that's why we're here. It's true and comfortable, painful and sweet at the same time. Something we all long for, right? Because every unresolved issue in a relationship is ultimately an unresolved issue with yourself. And the mirror doesn't lie, it just reflects. And the 90-second is something that we picked up. 90 seconds of silence is usually enough for the nervous systems to calm down, reflect a bit deeper. It's not a weakness to stay silent, it's mastery to get back to yourself and what really matters in a conversation or confrontation you have with someone else. And the space between stimulus and response is where your freedom lives. I don't know how about you, but I have personally encountered a lot of mirrors in my life. I can't even count how many. And sometimes I've been a slow learner. At this age, I must say it's getting a bit easier, usually. Not always. So, how about a spontaneous, transmitted remembrance healing so that you can remember your wholeness? So we can understand relationships intellectually and how we're supposed to respond and everything, releasing our own triggers and pain things, whatever it is, that's something else. So let's get spiritually, physical, and soulful integrated. And take a breath and let go. Feel your feet, feel your body. Let your breathing come and go. Relax a bit more if you haven't already. Our friends on the Swedish hill are here. And you are invited to the remembrance field between Arcturus and Lemuria. A concentrated imprint of God and Gaia. It's kind of a space. It's more than a portal. It's a space between heaven and earth where you can just relax and be. Just be with yourself together in this space. And you can tap into this even if you watch or listening to the recording. And breathe, feel your feet, feel your body. Sink down into your belly. You can place a hand there if you want. And we invite you to let your energy reach down to the center of the earth. Like if you're a tree, letting your roots go down for nourishment and exchange of energy and real connection. You're a physical body coming from earth. Everything you can see and touch is from earth. So breathe, connect deeper and even more deeper with this loving energy holding you, seeing you, taking care of you 24/7. And just sit with yourself in this remembrance field. And you're invited to participate in some energy balancing. So please balance, harmonize, align, purify and cleanse your root chakra, your safety, your belonging, you belonging here. And let it vibrate in perfect harmony with your unique soul signature frequency. Infused with a wonderful ruby red color. And keep staying in your body. Feel your feet. Feel how heavy you are. In a comfortable way, supported, grounded. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify and cleanse your second chakra, your life force just below your navel. And let it vibrate in perfect harmony with your soul's unique signature frequency, vibration, color and sound. Your creative place. If you ever overthink something, let your thoughts melt, sink down into this place, just below your navel. And see what is moving you. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse your third physical chakra, your solar plexus, your soul connection point, and let it vibrate in perfect harmony with your unique soul signature frequency. And breathe. And feel your body, feel your feet. And let your soul take up space inside of you in a completely new way, lighting you up from inside. In this sunshine spot, the soft, tender space. In direct contact with the eternal flame, the source, eternal truths. Infused by yellow, sunshiny, wonderful, vibrant color. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse your heart chakra if needed. Back and front, from where you can communicate your soul's unique frequency vibration, adding a green, wonderful emerald color. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse your throat chakra. Speaking, singing, expressing your unique soul signature frequency vibration through your heart, through your voice, if you can, and if not, with intention. Giving your breath your soul's unique vibration and frequency. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse your visual chakra between your eyebrows, connected to your pineal gland. And let it vibrate in perfect harmony with your unique soul signature frequency and your visual intuition, so that you can clearly see illusions and discern what are the right visions for you. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse your divine crown chakra. And at the same time, feel your feet, feel your body. Stay here. If you're prone to leave your body, stay in this physical, spiritual merging. And if you want, you can try have this spiritual breathing through your body. inspired by the source, the eternal flame, breathing through your crown chakra all the way down to your feet and into the earth, your anchor point. Where your soul can remember your wholeness, why you came here, what you want to express, create, or disrupt in this world, in this dimension. And please balance, harmonize, align, purify, and cleanse all of the chakras in all of your 7 bodies, above, below, and around you, so that they all vibrate in perfect harmony with your soul's signature frequency, vibration, colors and sound, and unique expression, with your body as a physical, sacred temple. And allow any whisper from your soul, however you perceive it. What's the message today? What's your main focus? And allow any distortion, dissonance, disassociation gently, with your allowance, with your permission, leave your system or transform. Any obstacle you can either let go of, or you can transform them. You can transform them inside of you with the light of your own soul. In this imperfect, perfect, divine imprint of the divine as a physical body, hosting your wonderful soul. And remember your truest essence, even if it's not intellectual yet. Even if you yet not have a clear answer, it's somewhere in there in you. And if it's clear for you, how can you express your soul's purpose in a new way, in a new creative way, if that is what you desire or long for. And breathe, feel your feet, feel your body. Remember your wholeness. And know that you're held, seen, and taken care of with Mother Earth love and the wisdom of the universe, the eternal flame, the source, right inside of you, a mirror of your own soul. Thank you. And if you want, you can visualize amethyst purple around you for some guidance and protection if you feel fragile, so that you can integrate this in your own way, in your own pace. We thank you and honor you for being here, and we love you. And if you had your eyes closed, you're welcome to open again, or by all means, if you want to stay in this relaxed state and just zoom out, even leave the session, you can always watch the rest of the recording later. Whatever is feeling good for you. And if you want to share in the chat, if something came up for you, an insight, a release, a feeling of lightness, or any emotion is welcome. Would love to read your experience. And the opening question in the beginning, have you been thinking about someone during this session who triggers you and something that bothered you? Did anything change for you? Can you see it differently? Yourself differently or the other person differently? Helena, thank you as always. Thank you, Helena. So the invitation is that whatever bothers you most in another person is usually pointing to something unresolved within you. And we know that you know this. Sometimes we just need a little reminder. I did this morning. And we resolved it in a beautiful, beautiful way. And then, of course, sometimes some people are more difficult than others. No judgment, really. We've all been there at some point, but more often than not, the mirror is showing you something you haven't fully met inside of yourself. So it's not bad news, it's the most direct path to growth there is. So the relationship is often the teacher, the trigger is the doorway, and our willingness to walk through it is everything. And Yvonne, you spoke about courage and vulnerability, and that is actually the theme of the month in our community that I will mention shortly. The theme for June is having the curiosity to find a space between courage and vulnerability and see how and feel how they can function together. Because there is no real courage without vulnerability, and vice versa. Thank you, Guida. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but you're warmly welcome here. Helena, there is a quote I like by Hemingway. The best people process a feeling for beauty, the courage to take risks, the discipline to tell the truth, and the capacity for sacrifice. Ironically, their virtues make them vulnerable. They are often wounded, sometimes destroyed. I realize that I'm triggered by a person who does not do the work. Absolutely recognizing that. Sometimes that's very painful. And I honor you for seeing and reflecting, and thank you for the beautiful quotes. We would love to remind you about something that feels deeply aligned with everything we've explored in this episode. Because if relationships are our greatest mirror and growth potential, then the quality of the community you surround yourself with matters quite a lot. So, Yvonne and I, we have created Kindred Souls, a sacred community for sensitive souls ready to remember their wholeness. So, this is a warm, safe space held by soul guidance and sacred feminine wisdom, where you can breathe, heal, heal, remembering that you can heal yourself, and come home to yourself with people who are doing the same work, walking the same path, and willing to look in the mirror. Our friends on the Swedish Hill are there too as remote mentors and somewhat influencers and part co-creator of this space, bringing their transmissions and wisdom into the community field. So there are already 3 beautiful courses and meditations waiting for you, well worth repeating, even if some of you have done them before. And Yvonne has a 7-day frequency immersion coming very soon. You have a 7-day free trial. Come in, feel the field, see if it's home for you. And I'm Elof. I'm soul guide for heart-centered leadership, some kind of modern shaman doing online, mostly shamanic work and many other things, rewiring subconscious mind in a wake state for those who are willing to explore. And these transmissions were brought to you by me, Yvonne, our friends on the Swedish Hill. And Yvonne is a mentor of sacred feminine, holding ground for us all. So you can reach out if you have specifically something around your own feminine energy, anything that you want to mirrored. This space is free and always will be. If today's transmission and healing meditation resonate, you're warmly welcome to support this channel and help other people experience it. There's a link in chat, comment, or description. And there is a link to book a clarity call if you feel called. So, thank you for today. And remember, you are a bright shining star in a miracle and a light of eternal potential. The people in your life, every single one of them, have been a part of your soul's journey home. Honor any mirror and honor yourself. So let your divine light shine, and know that when you do, the whole collective field will notice. Take care. Hope to see you next week or sooner. Be the change. Many blessings. Thank you.